We were live. I was just telling John that it's nice to see the flying coasters on what's that, a keyline my book back there?
Yeah, keyline my book.
So what is that, running OS 9?
Yes, at the moment.
Yeah. Well, there was never a flying coasters, or is it after dark, or is it?
Yeah, after dark. But there was somebody who had done basically a port of flying toasters for an OS 10 screensaver. But yeah, right? No, that's OS 9.
Anyway, I earlier John was watching the video to get ready for today, and his face was completely still, but I could see the flying toaster. So it's a good thing that when we're recording here, I know if the toasters are moving, then John,
then all is well. Yes.
Well, except you might be suffering an episode again.
Why is the right side of my face numb? No, so kind of funny you say. So I used to have there was a little I can't remember. Yeah, it was a control panel for the classic Mac OS called Menu Ball, and all it did was put a little bouncy ball in your menu and just go back and forth, and I use that thing from System 7 all the way up through 9, and it still worked just fine. But it was a great indicator that your computer was working okay still. It wasn't. Well, at least sometimes an application. You use so little cycle process. If it was number crunching or doing something in Photoshop or applying a filter, that the progress bar wasn't moving. As long as you could see the menu ball was still moving, you knew you were okay.
It seemed like to me it would be just a good indicator that menu ball was working. That wouldn't preclude something else.
Well, that is true.
Freezing.
The computer must be fine. It's on fire, but the menu ball is still moving.
Welcome everybody in the chat.
Joe.
I see Steve, Mac84.
Yeah.
Klaus from Sweden. All right, let's see. Should we count this down?
Let's do it.
Get started. All right, Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 564 for March 21st, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
Oh, you hesitated for a second, I thought. But I saw that the toasters were going. So
that's right. So
I know it wasn't.
I can't fool you now. I can't.
Well, I knew it wasn't a StreamYard issue. Speaking of issues, it seems like he just froze his screen. His face. I guess would be his personal screen. You seem to have addressed and solved the little crackling noises in your audio.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it was just something to do with the USB hub I was using, and so since then I've replugged everything into the Mac, did a restart on the Mac, and so far, fingers crossed, that's all it will take.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's see. What do we got going today? There was a couple of things we thought we'd talk about, but the decision became easy when I couldn't locate my 20th anniversary Macintosh experience CD-ROM. I found a lot of other cool stuff in my hunting around.
As you're going through your boxes and everything?
Yeah, I have dozens upon dozens of CDs, like interactive store display CDs.
Oh, dude, really?
From like the early 2000s. All those, when you would walk into an Apple store, and there'd be some interactive thing, with movies running, you could click on it and learn the specs and whatever. I've got tons of those, which would be also cool to look at some point. But
you definitely need to make sure those are, if not archived somewhere, do it, and let's go through those. That would be great.
Oh, keep everybody entertained. I'm reaching behind me. I thought it was going to be in here. I know I have it because I've seen it before. It looked familiar, but I thought it was going to be in this 20th anniversary Macintosh little
the little leather
CD binder. Well, it's
sure.
Is it leather?
Well,
I don't
fake
know.
leather, I guess.
It looks.
Ricardo Montalban would not be
I don't
impressed.
know. Is that leather? It kind
It
of feels
couldn't
like
be
leather. Not sure it really smells like leather. This one has the welcome tour,
Right.
which is not the same thing, but that would be cool to look at nonetheless. And then the system software. It's cool that when they put these CDs together, they even made special designs for to just throw in the regular rescue
System
CDs in
discs,
there.
sure.
Yeah, and there's even a special QuickTime showcase just for the 20th anniversary Macintosh CD. But that's not what we're talking about this week. Oh, virtual pool. Oh, and a Bose Hear the Difference CD. Do you have any of this stuff with your 20th anniversary Macintosh?
Yes.
Oh, you
yes,
do?
I do. I don't know exactly all that's in it, but
okay.
But
all right.
Yes,
Oh, John's leaving. All right.
Bye.
Well, there you go. He's got his. All right, everybody. Grab yours.
I was listening to some music on the TAM this morning while I was getting ready for the podcast.
The sound is
I love being able to do that.
Divine. Well, so if I can't talk about the Experience CD, that means I'm going to talk about my trials and tribulations of rescuing some digital photos from this guy right here, this Olympus camera. So we'll talk about that later. Of course, we got some eBay finds and some news, including a traitorous defection. Anything we need to mention before we get to eBay finds?
No, I think that is it.
All right. We'll be right back with some eBay finds. Aha. Ooh, those discs. I'll help. Mac 84 will help. Help with what? Do you have that? Do you have that CD?
Archiving your discs. Yeah. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Jeremy.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna switch gears here. Oh, let's see. All right.
Oh, am I doing the Duo doc?
Sure thing.
All right.
Okay. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Time now for the eBay finds last week. Well, there it is. That's what inspired today's potential episode. This is the 20th anniversary Macintosh Experience CD. Boy, still one left. And I would guess why. They want $175 for that thing. Or you can make an offer. Yeah, see, it came in its own case, right?
Right.
It didn't come in that little package that you got with the disc. This is the one that inspired you to buy the 20th anniversary Macintosh. It didn't actually come with it. So yeah, that would probably make it rare, like a dealer only thing. But anyway, it's still out there. Probably will be for a while at $175. And then the original first generation iMac G3 in Bondi Blue. You can have it in any color you want, as long as it's that. And that one sold. Well, it didn't sell. 0 bids at $349.99. So it's been relisted at the same price, $349.99. Or you can make an offer. This one ships from North Sioux City in South Dakota. North Sioux City in South Dakota. Okay. And
east of the river, west of the...
And last week also, there was that oddly configured Macintosh SE. We never really did figure that one out, right? There's some kind of computer in there. It can display stuff. It's got HDMI. It's got a strange USB port. There's something happens when you put a floppy disk in, like it turns itself on or something weird like that. Can you imagine? This one sold, as strange as it is, somebody they bid this up after 8 bids to $255.
Oh my gosh, really? Holy cow!
Yeah,
And
I
I mean,
mean, I guess it was enough of
that's
a curiosity.
right, right.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta look at these pictures again. Remember, it has there's an Ethernet
Oh
port
man,
on the
I
back.
wish we knew who was getting this so we could talk
Mm-hmm.
to them about.
Mm-hmm. There's
Huh.
an HDMI port that's been jammed into the SCSI port.
Well, if it is one of our listeners who got this, please contact us and
Yeah,
talk to us about this thing when you get it in.
I mean, it looks like it's been running Windows, right? I mean, isn't that a Windows logo on the screen?
Well, yeah, but if it's HDMI, so I mean, they could have anything plugged
They
into it.
could, but that's a oddly specific picture. All right, let's move along to this week. This one's for our Australian friends. Guided tour of Macintosh box set 1983. Probably more like 84, right? I don't think too many of these got out in 83. So this is
Well,
the
Australia, it
oh,
is
that's right,
sooner
time
in
zones.
Australia than it is. Yeah, that's right. Yes. So
I did not
I
take
didn't
that
realize
into
they
account.
expand, that much.
Yeah,
But yes. Mhm.
that would make sense. Okay. Well, this is the Picasso box, and it comes first uncracked, which a lot of times you'll find these things they become brittle when you get them cracked because they're not really strong enough to rest stuff on it. Very thin plastic, and it's got some contents too. Some photos there shows the Macintosh tour cassette, some floppies, disc labels even, and I don't know if the power cord is in there, or just the sleeve for the power cord with some
Mm.
odd stain. The cassette is there, but no, I don't think the cord is there. You can see the kind of the yellow spotting that occurs with the labels over time.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, the adhesive starts to kind of seep through or something.
Is that what that is? There is the power cord. The power cord is there. Original power cord. And the case is reasonably good shape for the age that it is.
Yeah.
But the great thing about this is it starts at the low bid of 99 Australian cents. Do they call them cents over there? I know they're Australian dollars, but I'm just going to assume that they're 99 Australian cents, which is 77 American cents. So this could be a great steal for somebody
Sure.
to round out their original Mac setup. Pretty good shape. So, all right, this one ends. Yeah.
It looks like even like to us, shipping would only be about $35.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
depending on
right.
just how low this goes. Now here's something I find interesting. Looking at the cord, I would have thought Australia you would have a different outlet, unless they just only ship
the
this
same
kind of cord and you had to get an adapter.
Well, here's something interesting. Do you ever remember this particular shape of the cord with the apple like that?
I believe I've got one. Yeah.
Is it really like that? Gosh.
I
And
don't want to
also
get
the
up
color.
and rummage around right now, but
Let's
the
talk
color?
about the color. It's not beige. It's more of a platinum.
Well, I mean that could just be the camera. It could be the lighting.
I don't know. Makes me interesting. This is how we really get down in the nitty gritty. Is the shade and the exact configuration of the power cord. This does not look familiar to me. Maybe somebody else in the chat can.
All right.
Maybe Steve.
Maybe that was the
1984.
1983 model.
Oh, that could be a special release. Well, they should have put prototype in the title. I think they could have charged a lot more than 99 Australian
Rare.
cents.
Steve Jobs. Look. Yeah. Anyway, this is going to be a great buy for somebody.
Yeah, let's see. This one ends in about 6 days. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Next up, we have. I love these things. Derek did one of his Mac Folklore radios. Did a great one on the Duo recently. So yes, this is a vintage Macintosh PowerBook Duo 230 W with a W. Nah, I was wondering about that. With a PowerBook Duo dock.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have led with the fact that there's the Duo dock and it comes with a PowerBook Duo 230.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Duo dock. Mine doesn't have a key on the side. I'm assuming that was to lock the laptop
Lock
in
the
the
dock. Yeah, I guess it was a security feature. There was probably some kind of one of those locking features of the dock, like a lot of Macs.
Right.
And then if you want to
it
lock,
also has a little Apple logo on that lock, on that key, I should say. Kind of neat. I don't have that.
that's gosh, I don't think I have a key. I'm gonna go look. All right, hold on, keep reading.
Okay. All right. So yes, this is coming out of Spokane, Washington. Wow, shipping to us would be $52, but of course that's across the entire country for us. Free local pickup. That's nice. And so this has got 6 days to go. So this has got a while.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I've got mine with a 280C in it, and I love the 280C. So not familiar with the 230 very much.
This inspires me to want to boot up mine. I've got it right behind me. Is it in the image? Yeah, I guess it is. I was just checking to see the key slot on mine. Of course, no key. All right, and finally, let's look at this beauty. It's an iMac.
Man, I'm so jelly over this.
G3, but Blue Dalmatian. It's the model
Yeah.
M5521 with keyboard and mouse. The description says you don't see these too often anymore, at least in this pristine physical condition. Sold as is, turns on, does not chime, but boots into the OS X screen, prompting for password. I do not know the password. There's a DVD stuck in the internal slot drive. Oh no. Sold as is. Let's see. What else can we say about it?
They must not know the trick of holding down the mouse to turn on the computer to get the disk to eject. Mm-hmm.
Right. It says the description says with keyboard and mouse, but then, or the title, but then in the description says, I do have a keyboard and mouse for this unit if needed for additional cost. So it's a little confusing there because.
Right. Especially at the price that they're asking, it should come with the keyboard and mouse.
And what is that price? $425.60 is the buy it now, or you can make an offer. This ships from Leominster, Massachusetts for free, at least.
Yeah, so that whole free thing on the shipping just.
Well, they kind of build it into the cost, I guess.
Yeah, but
what?
But I don't know. I mean, I would want to still pay extra for extra. I want to make sure this person knows how to ship these things because, again, the plastic's getting brittle on the inside on these things.
Yeah. The seller, Jay Moran,
just makes it seem to me that they're just going to throw it in a box and get it into the mail without much
perhaps. But they have 5,823 successful transactions with a 99.5% positive feedback.
Okay. All right. Good point.
Might,
good point to look that up.
Yeah, they might take care or at least, yeah, you definitely, you're going to ship something like this. You want to contact the seller and make sure that you two are both in agreement on the care.
And it looks like they sell a lot of
heavy
Apple
items
and stuff.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
Yeah,
I don't see any keyboard and mouse in the picture, so my guess is you'll have to provide your own or work with them separately to get it. But yeah, it looks really great shape. I don't see any cracked plastics or any unusual yelling. The foot, the little stand seems to be intact, so might just need a fresh install.
Yeah.
Do these slot loading drives, they didn't have paper clips, right? I mean, you couldn't. There's no mechanical. Was there an easy way to, if you had to mechanically eject that disc?
I have never looked into that. Yeah.
Hopefully, it is a CD in there, not or it's not like one of those little One of those tiny little,
Right.
or like one of those
Right.
oblong business card CD-ROMs.
Uh-huh. Well, at least these are not too hard to get apart.
Right.
To pull the bottom tray out and
That's right. Yeah. And
once you get the bottom tray out, you can.
Yeah.
It's past that little dust sleeve that's in the slot load part.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if they get to buy it now next week.
So I'm just looking at some of this guy's other auctions.
Mm-hmm.
They've got little Cray computer models, which is kind of neat. But yeah, wow. I mean, this person's they're selling a ton of stuff. They got a Macintosh TV. They want $3,000 for the Macintosh TV. So, I mean, this person's selling stuff, but it is definitely a little bit on the high end.
Steve says there's a button on the far right of those slot load drives, I believe. Really?
Okay.
I'll go look at mine right now.
Oh man, he's got like keypads for the
I don't know. Is it in this slot? I don't know. I don't see anything obvious. He also says a FireWire external disk drive is always helpful. Yes. Boot that thing externally, put it in target disk mode or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, FireWire cable. Yeah, so you could do target. Absolutely, man. Oh, Blue Dalmatian. Want one someday? Maybe.
Okay. Oh, okay. You ready to go for the next segment?
I am ready to go.
Okay.
Let's talk about your trials and tribulations.
Yeah. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, I've talked about this story a couple of times in the past. I kind of want to bring it to conclusion and pass along some lessons learned. When I was moving in to the house, and of course, you all remember there was a monumental undertaking of transporting 200 plus computers to the house. John helped out with that. And in the process of moving in, I had some work done in the house, and this guy, Eric, was around, and he, I guess he saw a couple computers here and there and recognized I was a Mac guy. He was a Mac guy and asked about it. And I said, here, let me show you something. And so I showed him, at that time, was this room at the early stages. There was a handful of computers, not all set up, but I mean, it was still probably overwhelming for somebody to come around. So he was a little shocked by that, but and at the time he also, let me think about it. I'm trying to think about the timeline, but anyway, so sometime later though, he asked me if I might be able to help him. His father had an Olympus digital camera when he was growing up. It was the first one Olympus ever made. They made a couple of models. This was the D300L. I think there's a 200L, and on it were some photos from his childhood that were never exported.
Oh, wow. And, so is this, it had internal storage? It wasn't like one of the ones that saved on floppy?
Right. No, it wasn't a floppy. Well, there was no memory card. It was all internal storage.
Oh, wow.
And they never gotten around to taking the photos off. They could see them on the little screen on the back. That was bad. They thought about, well, you could take a picture of the screen or something like that. That would be pretty bad. But no, and so, it'd been, I forget when this camera came out. It was over 20 years now, I think. And they no longer had a computer that could connect to it. So he said, hey, do you think you'd be able to rescue these photos? And this is the moment that we all are waiting for, right?
Absolutely.
We have all this stuff.
Having a justification for art.
When somebody comes to you and they need some data off a computer, or they've got an old computer or whatever, they're trying to get something off of something. And I said, hey, if I can't do it, nobody can. I mean, I've got nearly every model of Apple computer at my disposal with all the software and everything that can connect them. Sure, I'll take on that challenge. And I thought it would be really easy. with everything, all the tools at my disposal. But it turned out it was a little more of an adventure. And so this camera, and he was in good shape because he had the camera.
Yeah.
Had the serial cord. I didn't necessarily need that, but a nice long serial cable, which is good. And even this little guy, the Keyspan USB to serial adapter, which
Right.
I thought,
Right.
great.
Yeah, perfect, right?
But I started off thinking, well, I think the easier thing for me to do, or I was thinking about whether or not I'd have problems with that adapter, because I didn't have the software for it. Now later I would go find it. I thought, okay, I'll start with the beige G3 because it was a great computer that still had its serial ports if I needed those. And mine had a USB card in it because I wanted to be able to transfer software back and forth and the photos when I eventually get them, right, on a thumbstick. So I got out my trusty beige G3, which I owned it and used it for many, many years. And I thought, boy, this one's got to be raring to go. So pulled it out. It hadn't been turned on in a long time. Fortunately, it booted. It was only had lost the time. And connected the everything. And so what you need with these cameras is you needed Photoshop Deluxe. Or something compatible with the plugins that it used to pull those photos off. And so I first had to get Photoshop Deluxe. And for some reason, my USB wasn't working that well under OS 9. And so I had to boot up in 10 to put the thumb drive in it to get the Photoshop Deluxe on it. But I was able to get it on there, and I was running Photoshop Deluxe. But because of the USB problems, the Keyspan adapter wasn't working. And of course, OS 9 says, hey, do you want me to go out and look on the internet for the software to get that going? Of course, it's not going to find anything out there on its own.
Sure.
I tried connecting it directly, and I ran into problems there. I wasn't recognizing it. It turned out later I know why. I'll get to that later. But I said, okay. I was sort of like, I got to have a Mac here that I could quickly do this. So I said, okay, there's enough friction here. I'm moving on from the G3 desktop. I'm going to the blue and white G3 because surely that one USB is working. I'll get the Keyspan thing working.
Right.
Got it going. Couldn't get Photoshop Deluxe anymore for some reason. When I installed for the beige G3, no longer would work on the blue and white. I got the Keyspan working. It didn't recognize the camera was connected to it, so that was bothering me. Okay, enough. All right, I'm moving on. iMac G4. Put it up. And kind of same sort of problems. Nothing was really talking to anything. And of course, this starts making you appreciate the modern age we live in, because even things were supposedly easier for you on a Mac back then compared to like a Windows PC. It was not. In hindsight, that simple, because when you've got the software that, with the right operating system, the plugins, the extensions. Oh yeah. And that was the other thing that I was dealing with on the beige G3 for some reason. When I was trying to resolve the USB issue, I was trying to fix that. And then of course it would freeze on boot up. I was having some kind of extension conflict. So then I'm going to the extensions manager. Mm-hmm. First I'm booting up, with no extensions, and it works. So it's like, okay, what's hanging everything up? It's something is hanging it up that's preventing me to get USB working. And so then I'm doing the, okay, I'll turn these things on and reboot it. Okay, I'll turn. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of the reason why I decided to abandon the beige G3, because I was just, the extensions matter. There were probably, 200 extensions in there. Sure. I wasn't going to play that game anymore. So anyway, so now I'm at the iMac G4. Couldn't get Photo Deluxe going. And then I decided, well, let's, the G3 kind of was working. I was just having USB problems. Let's go back, but let's use a G3 tower that I have. And so I pulled that
like
up.
A blue and white or a beige?
Beige. And that one was having USB problems too. And around that time, I decided, why don't I network this thing? And that will solve my software transfer problems. Mm-hmm. And so and I think I mentioned it last week, I learned that you cannot directly network OS 9 over Ethernet with a Mac on your network that's running Big Sur. And that was when I made the discovery that I could do it through VMware Fusion in a virtualized Snow Leopard, and it popped right up. So that was a pretty cool thing. So now I've got
that is a neat
access.
little trick to know. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that gave me new hope that at least in my experiments with different versions of Photo Deluxe and different drivers or whatever, I wasn't moving thumbsticks back and forth or some other way. So got that going. And then you, John, provided a very important beat. Remember having those Photo Deluxe problems where I was able to get one working one place and then not the other. So anyway, you helped me out with some serial number difficulty, and I got a working copy of Photo Deluxe running. And then I started thinking about, now, one of the things that was sent with the camera was this hand-burned CD of Olympus files on a CD-RW, no less. And it's all scratched to heck, but on this was the plugin for the camera.
Oh, ha, ha,
and I started thinking about that again, and I thought, you know what? I don't think ever in all of those problems. Now, a lot of the problems couldn't have been fixed by this, but there was one problem that could have been fixed, and that was putting the plugin in the right folder on the hard drive for Photo Deluxe to recognize it as a camera plugin, which I had not done previously, and probably would have gotten the original Beige 3 to work.
Oh man.
So that and I didn't go back and see if that would have worked. I probably would have. But anyway, so I came full circle and found out that the combination. So that was a very important key. And fortunately I had it. I mean, finding this thing. Yeah. I was looking all over the place for Olympus files for and help and whatever, and it was there. So that was it. But there was a couple things that
Mac 84 mentions, so we need to make sure that's backed up and loaded up somewhere on the internet also.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple of things, along the way, and I was having, there was some amount of frustration, but it was also kind of thrilling, this hunt of trying to figure things out. And the things you learn along the way are the things that you're reminded of
or remember, right? Yeah, things that you would have known this at one point in time. Oh yeah,
and you're right. You realize, when one of the things that I wound up doing is, I would waste time along the way because I would find my own files on some of these old Macs. It's like, oh wow, that's there. I need to get that. Or, oh look, here's Unreal Tournament installed on this G3 tower. I must play that for an hour. Yeah. And I had forgotten how tricked out that G3 tower was with a couple of graphics cards and loaded up with RAM.
That sounds like an episode. I think you need to pull that out and show us some of the stuff in there for an episode.
Yeah. And so there it's back over my shoulder, back on display. But all good. I was able to, with the right combination of stuff, pull the pictures off. And quick email to Eric, and he's got, I was going to show, how can you disappoint a guy that's got a tattoo like that? So
that is amazing. Wow.
His tattoo. He's got a macOS logo, this tattoo, a little modified, right? Does it look like a deliberate heart?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like to me. Sure.
Yeah. So all is good. All this hoarding is for something, and it's justified. I'm ready for the next challenge. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess. Oh, it reminded me the QuickTake cameras. I was probably in good shape to import from some QuickTake cameras at the time. So I might have to pull out a QuickTake camera and see what's going on those. All right. Yeah. Steve, Mac
Yeah,
84 is talking about having old computers around on the network just for the rescue of files. Yeah.
Hey, Derek, what's up, man?
Derek, Mac Folklore Radio. All right, let's see. We're moving on to news.
Let me bring that up.
And whenever you're ready, we'll go.
All set.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. It's time for the news. And last week it was the HomePod we learned had been discontinued. This week we've learned iMac Pro. Mac Rumors has reported that. Quick search of the online store shows it's no longer available. There's a couple other clues that went out of stock in other countries. So there's no longer an option to buy it. It's no longer listed in the Apple Store app. And a search pulls up nothing. So there you go. iMac Pro. So that just show. What does that show? I mean, it just shows that with the HomePod and the iMac Pro that there's possibly something to replace it. Right?
Yeah.
Possibly not. I don't know. It sounds, based on how well the M1 Macs are performing, that all Macs can be Pro in the future or something. I mean, they're all going to be
that's what
so
that
blasted
kind of says
fast.
to me. Sure.
Yeah. It's always crazy when just in the simple chip swap, what our low end Macs are now meeting or beating the performance of previous things that we called pros. So no longer available. I guess that means it's retro. iMac Pro is one that I didn't get. Probably be some years before you can get one at some good deal, right? I think these Intel based high end Macs at the end of this generation are going to be quite desirable going forward for those that need strict Intel compatibility. As much as I'd love to have an iMac Pro in my line, that would be I've got the G3s, the G4s, the G5, and then the first Intel Macs kind of in a line along the top of my cabinet. That iMac Pro would be sweet there. And let's see what else happened. Over on 9 to 5 Mac, there are these icon collections for your iOS home screen.
Yeah. Right.
Inspired by the 84 Macintosh. And so these custom icon packs are black and white. They're actually a little higher res than even the 84 Mac. There's way too many pixels there. But it is pixelated nonetheless. And
right. They had
artist,
double of the pixels to make them chunky.
Yeah. And so you can purchase these, and there's different packs. There's like a System 1 iOS Macintosh one for $6. And then an iOS Old School, and then an iOS 128K. And so they also went and they made icons, black and white pixelated icons of some of the more popular third-party apps as well. So there you go. I guess that's over on 9 to 5 Mac. And then here's the Trader's Defector. Of course, we all love the on a Mac, on a PC ads. There were tons of them. It was a very popular ad campaign, part of the Switch campaign years ago. Justin Long was the star, or one of the two stars, right? John Hodgman was the PC.
John Hodgman.
Well, there's a new series of ads where Justin is not a Mac. He's just Justin. And he is selling the wares of Windows, or Intel, I guess, specifically, but on Windows Microsoft-based devices. So they're kind of course, very reminiscent of the original ads. I think it's fun to bring it back.
Yeah. And I mean, what's up with this guy? Have they just kept him in storage all these years? Because it doesn't look any older than
Yeah,
he did on those commercials.
Well, they may have. Is he CGI? I don't know. Could have been CGI. Anyway, fun ads. I don't have any heartburn. He's got to pay the bills, right?
Right.
I mean,
and I have to totally agree
it.
with him for the gaming one. I have to say,
yeah,
because
there's a Twitter going on these ads. I think, well, maybe it's just Intel's Twitter, and there's a picture of him holding a fistful of dongles, which is funny because you got to admit that when Apple takes our ports away, we have to spend a lot of money on all these adapters. I can't tell you how many adapters I have, boxes and boxes of them, all the different variations of USB or video adapters. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And still no announcement of a March event. We're running out of days in March. It doesn't
right,
what's going to happen. And we just got next week, so I think it's probably too late. So we're still waiting on some kind of spring event. And anyway, so we'll stay tuned for that.
So I noticed Derek sent me a link for somebody doing an SE30 logic board recreation.
Oh,
and I think maybe we need to try to get this guy on. I'm trying to remember the other week when we had Mark Jositis on, and the other, my goodness,
Frank,
thank you. Was he? Did he talk about this at all? About a SE30 board recreation? I know he was talking about the XC grayscale.
He was talking about.
But I think.
Yeah, we were talking about that
right.
in general. I don't know about the specific effort that Derek's referencing.
Right. I
Frank was talking about how there's
Frank
was talking about how there's a one particular chip, right, that hasn't been fully recreated. Okay. And Derek is mentioning Camera Aid. Probably would have solved all my problems, Derek. Thank you. I probably would have worked right from the beginning. But it is a photography and JPEG management utility. And so does it do, it says download photos from many popular digital cameras. And there's a compatibility list which says Olympus. All older Olympus models work. Well,
nice.
There you go. That would have been handy. Cool. All right. Well, I think we got to end this episode, right?
I think so, but so
what?
We'll mention
week?
that I will not be on next week.
Oh yeah, no episode next week. Probably take the week
unless
off.
You get find a
guest host,
temporary host. Yeah, guest host.
We'll see. Maybe Steve wants to guest host next week. I don't know. We'll see if he is up for that. Maybe he's got something to talk about next week. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. From the chat, we had the recommendation. Derek from Mac Folklore Radio pointed out there is a utility called Camera Aid that might have helped all of my problems. But I wouldn't have learned anything if I would have just had if you just given me the answer. I would have learned all this other cool stuff. I wouldn't have had all this fun playing Unreal Tournament. But yeah, it would have saved me a lot of time. Camera Aid claims to work with all these old cameras, including Apple QuickTake and all these old Olympus models, like the one I was using. So
yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, cameraaid.com. There you go. Next week, John is going to be traveling about, attending a wedding, I think is what you said.
Yep.
So you won't be here for an episode. It sounds like Steve from Mac 84 is willing to fill in. Is that right? Do I have that right? He's in the chat there. He says he'll do a John impression.
Best John impression. Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I don't know what is a John impression exactly. Other than
well, he's got to practice that smooth, buttery baritone.
He's gonna have to use some kind of audio plug-in to drop his voice 2 octaves. All right. Well, and so I'll have to follow up with Steve and see if he's got something he wants to talk about on the show. If that in fact is a firm offer. And what else? We miss anything else? I guess not. How are your projects coming along? What's the top of your project list right now? I know. Oh, you said your SE30 has crapped out.
My ClearCase SE30. That's normally right there. Is no longer working. I do believe what's happening is I'm pretty sure it's the analog board. I've tried to recap one other analog board, but I don't want to use it until I get a chance to check the voltages on it to make sure I did it correctly before plugging it into my only good SE30 motherboard. So don't want to fry that. Other than that, I've been still enjoying playing around with the clear Apple IIe case. I bought a couple of patch cables, so I can put some nice cables on the back. So I've got a VGA adapter for the for the Apple IIe.
Oh,
and so
wow!
VGA patch panel, so I don't have to try to run a cable through the hole. Same thing with the I've got a booty card. You know, the hard drive emulated that uses USB, and again, I got a little patch cable, so I can just plug the USB stick into the back of the. So I've been playing around with that. I've been playing around with adding some more color to the insides. I've got enough filament colors to do all the 6-color Apple logos, and I'm going to make some colors to kind of go over the slots on the back. I think I sent you a picture of one I tried with just with vinyl. To see how that went, and it looks really neat with the different colors in there. So I will try to 3D print those. So yeah, I've been having fun with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, have fun. We'll miss you next week, and see you a week after that. Until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
All right. Well, we got Steve locked in. Do you want to? Are you capable of joining us in the chat right now, Steve? So we can real time talk about what you want to talk about next week if you've got any ideas. Not that I can come up with something. But if you want to join us online right now,
he says it looks like you'll have to wake up early again.
Yeah,
because he does a lot of late night live streams of pairing stuff, which is really cool.
I don't know if he's equipped to do video right now. I could text you
if he got up early, he
may not be camera ready.
Camera ready, that's right.
All right. Well, I guess
that's it. Yeah.
I guess that's it. Thanks everybody from he's gonna join us. How do I do that? Where is what's my best route to him?
You should be able to just can you just
I could post it right here in the chat. I don't know that I don't want everybody else jumping in there. Let's see.
Oh, why not?
Is he on our Skype? I don't know if he is. No. I'll email it to you. How about that?
Either that or Facebook Messenger.
So many ways. So many ways. Do it this way. All right. I just emailed it to you, Steve. Okay. Yep, that's the email I used. If he jumps in here. How exciting is this? Just sitting around waiting for nothing.
Oh, so I've got my Apple II GS motherboard that was part of the Kickstarter. I'm sorry, not motherboard. So when you had the Apple IIe clear case, there was the option to get so you could put a 2GS motherboard in the case, and I did both, knowing that I was going to do the 2E in that one, but I was going to use the bottom base to do one of these stealth GSs. So I've got a Platinum 2E case that I got at Kansas Fest because I thought that would be a very good one to put the GS board in, since the Platinum has the separate keypad.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been working on that, also getting that cleaned up. I got a sonic cleaner to try to clean the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you get that also when you got your 2E case? Did you do the GS?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Here I can. Steve's trying to get the email. It shows sent. This is from our RetroMacCast email. I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah, maybe we could send it to via Facebook Messenger.
You should have it.
No, you keep talking. I'm going to go turn off my dehumidifier. Oh, there he is. I see him.
There he is. Okay. Now we just add him to the stream, and there. Oh, look. All right. Well, anyway, so you can do your
hopefully
John
that
impression.
works.
You got a week. You got a week to perfect your John impression.
I don't think I could go that low.
So, I mean, I'll come up with something, but I didn't know if you had a particular topic you wanted to.
Oh, there's always old Mac things to talk about.
You could, I mean, you could just give us an update on what you're working on, what you're
Sure.
Well, like we certainly need an update on how you're progressing on the clone series.
Yes.
You could talk about that some.
Are
you progressing? Well, unless you're not progressing, then there won't be much to talk about.
There's been a lot going on. I mean, I just did a talk at the Trenton Computer Festival. It was virtual this year, but it's the longest running computer festival in the world. So wow. They had presentations there, and thankfully, since it was virtual, a lot more people could view and participate and such. I talked just about restoring machines and stuff like that, and recapping and all this good stuff that a lot of us know. But it was very interesting because there was a much wider audience that is not necessarily know about some of these things, and it was cool to get some reaction from those folks of like, wow, I didn't know capacitors could leak like that, or you have to remove the batteries and stuff like that. So yeah, I was very glad to be able to share some of that with those people, because you don't know what you don't know, and that's not something to be afraid of,
Yeah. I'm sure. The nice thing about these virtual computer festivals is you don't have to haul all your stuff to some auditorium someplace and risk damage. And
the only bad thing is there's no flea market.
Right. Yeah. I was just trying to find some a few odds and ends for my 2E, and it's like, well, if Kansas Fest was happening this year, that would not be an issue.
Yes.
But Kansas Fest will be virtual again this year. But
yeah, when that goes back,
I know what you mean. There's no swap meet. There's no
I've never been to. And on the other hand, I've never been to like a Kansas Fest because I'm nowhere near Kansas. I never made the trek out there. But yet last year was my first year I was able to attend because it was virtual, the last event that they had. So, yeah. But once it's physical, I want to go back just to rummage through.
I'm really I'm thinking they're going to keep a lot of the virtual. I think a lot of events nowadays will now, even when they go back to in person, they'll still do a
Like a
better
hybrid.
virtual. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's great because Jennifer, you record these talks because one thing that was brought up during this show, because it would have been the 46th year, but it's the 45th because last year they had to postpone it. So 45 years is a heck of a long time, and they had at one point they had Bill Gates there as the keynote speaker, and this was back in the 80s. Unfortunately, the only person that recorded that on VHS tape passed away, and they don't know where the tape is. So it's excellent to record these things as they happen, because you never know, 10, 20 years down the road, oh my gosh, it's that guy who went on to found this company, or so on and so forth. So it's pretty neat.
Didn't Kansas us even before last year they started doing a lot of
they record.
Do they do start live streaming, or they were at least recording
it? They were doing live streaming, and they have the previous years. You can find a lot of their previous year files up there, but
that's great.
But adding like the having the Discord that they did last year, so people could chat in real time as the different programs were being different things were being presented, was a very neat aspect. There were breakout rooms, so people could get more into the hardware chatting of it. It was really neat. But I do look forward to it's a long drive, but it is so worth it to go to Kansas Fest.
We'll take turns, maybe, just to see if you have some spare room for all the junk I'm going to haul back.
So, Steve, are you you pretty much live Macintosh all year long, but was there something that you targeted for this month?
I couldn't have said it better myself. I had a lot of plans, and unfortunately things take up time and things like that. But I started doing just straight to the point videos. So I did that little video about the PS2 keyboard connector for the Macintosh Plus and the early Macs. So that wasn't a project I invented, but I basically built one and showed you how to use it. But essentially, those keyboards are getting so hard to find for those 128, 512 plus machines, and this allows you to just use a standard PC keyboard, which there's billions of them out there. And there are other adapters too. There's one that lets you use an ADB keyboard and stuff like that, but I couldn't find like the schematics or the diagram to actually how to build those. Some guy came up with this invention, but I think they're just selling them. They're not really telling you how to build it. And I want to show people how to build it, because that's what I'm excited about. So
is there no original Mac keyboard to Bluetooth yet?
That's probably in the works. I'm sure someone's figured it out. With all these SCSI adapters and fancy things, I'm sure someone's cracked that nut, and it's just a genius idea. They have to come up with a cool name for it, though. That seems to be what sends these things off. But
if there's not an all-in-one, there's probably at least you could probably get 2 or 3 adapters daisy chained together.
Now you're talking my language, James.
Well, you've got the Wombat that goes to ADB from USB, or vice versa.
Way around. Yeah, it does both. Because I actually built a few years ago a little USB to ADB adapter using one of those Teensy USB boards. And again, it's just you get some wire, you get an S-video port, and you wire it together. But
so you just need to make one that does USB to that, and you can call it like the Wallaby or something like that. So,
yes,
keep the theme
and then Outbound Systems will come and revive themselves and sue me. But one thing I do want to try and finish up for Macintosh, and it's time is ticking away here. But have any of you ever seen one of these things?
Oh yeah.
So there's some special discs inside of here that are MPEG only versions of those pieces of software. That cost me a mint on eBay. I already had the card. I already got the card, but the discs were not archived anywhere. So I'm going to archive those discs. I'm going to try and do a little video about it. But unfortunately, the only machine that I have that works with this is being a pain in the butt at the moment. So we'll see if I could actually do something about that.
All right.
That'll be fun.
Well, hey, next week then we got a couple of things. Well, you can share your experiences with that computer festival.
And then, I have some old photos from the flea markets of old days of iMac G3s for $5. I'd be happy to share some of those.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let's see. I don't know. Sometime that morning, I'll send you links to whatever I'm going to talk about.
Yeah,
and
sure.
of course,
You know how to
invite-
contact me. I
I
can't
know
do
how to-
I can't do the best John voice I can, but I'll try. I can't go that low.
You can do your own voice. That'll be good
That's right.
enough.
That's right.
All right.
I'll just have to set up an iMac or an iBook with the toasters on the background just to try and get that
There you
vibe.
go.
We'll put them right there.
Well, what we can do is, John, if you duck your head out of the way,
Just get
I
out,
can
duck out of there. You take a
screenshot.
screenshot, and then
Yeah, that'd be funny.
All of John's hair migrated. What happened?
All right. I guess that's it. Well, hey, thanks for being quick and flexible and jumping on with us.
Always.
And
always.
I'll see you next week, and John in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
So
yeah,
thanks
sure,
everybody
guys.
online for joining us. Big international crowd as always. We thank you for joining us and correcting our mistakes and filling
keeping
in,
us in line.
keeping us in line. All right, everybody.
That's what we always need.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.